Hey, Aleksei, how's it going? Thank you for sending in your video and really good to see some of your backhand here. And I can definitely help with a few little key tips. And you might notice something already just seeing it in slow motion. But anyone watching that does like this, please do send in your free swing audit. Just click in the link in the description below and I will be more than happy to help you out. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing, I think, let me get back to the bit that I saw the main bit. So it's when you hit your first couple of shots here. Let me just try to point out the first thing. Again, you probably hear me saying this quite a lot. There's that wobbly wrist. So you've broken your wrist in that position and it's turned. And what's happened, if you just notice your racket face, it's looking directly at the glass and directly at the camera. And for me, that means that racket face has to do a lot of work to then go from that position all the way around to hit that shot. And yes, you can do it, but what's happening, it's a bit wobbly along the way. And we want to try tighten that up. One of the big reasons that this happens is your spacing to the ball. So take a look at your relationship from where the ball is to your knee. That spacing there is just way too close. So what happens is that wrist compensates because of that foot being placed too close, that you need to make space for the racket head. And that's where that little wrist wobble comes in to make space. And then as you swing, this is another part of the compensation, but let me just point out your body position, relatively straight and a little bit too upright in the there, as well as the angle of your back. So if I just try to get that onto the horizontal, that angle of the back is way too big of an angle. We want that back, getting into around about that position there. So everything right now is saying, get yourself further away from the ball. So that's the first big tip. And I think this will then help because when you swing, notice that follow through. It's a little bit wild. It just goes up there a little bit. And you're having to throw your racket into a bit of an awkward position in order to get some racket head speed. So look, I'm a big fan of a what I call a expressive backhand follow through. But for me there, it's not quite in the right position, not quite controlled as well as possible. So let's take a look at a couple more. And there you can see that the wrist and that frame really well, can't you there? It's just, and even if you have got good distance, which there I think you've got good distance, there's such an ingrained habit, what's happening over here, that it really gets locked in. So my suggestion is put a couple of balls down, maybe one there, and start to go from the tee and start to ghost to those positions. And what I'd also suggest, let me just redo that. If you've got the 3 balls down there, what I like to do is put like a tiny piece of tape, maybe about there, and there. So then your lead foot, when you're lunging, it will only reach to there, and there. I think that's a good bit of advice because what will happen is you will start to retrain that wrist wobbling, but ultimately get your feet and your body in the right position. You also reach in and also to try and increase that angle of that back, like I said, trying to increase it down to that angle, not being too upright, as well as getting those legs bent. So for me, those are the main tips. I don't think I need to even look at anymore else because that wobbly wrist is such a byproduct of not getting your footwork right. So I'd say go away, have a little work on placing those balls down in those areas, get that bit of a tape out, make sure you're stopping at a certain distance and train your muscle memory for that wrist not to bend. That is how I tend to coach this. Bit by bit, you then go into phase 2. I've got 6 phases. I won't go too much into that, but phase 1 is do it without a ball. Phase 2, really simply do it as a solo, but even just doing one shot at a time, really break it down, really simplifying it to make sure you get that wrist in good positions to avoid, the wobble of the wrist, that follow through that goes a little bit awkward. And you can just see there, it's not quite in the right place. All of these things will be fixed or get close to being fixed if you can get your feet at the right distance away from the ball. So good luck going and work on that. And anyone that like this, please do click in the link in the description to grab your free personalized swing audit. And I hope to see some of you at some future videos. And as always, please do like and share the channel. Appreciate it, everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye.